One of the things that, for me, that one of the biggest things that everyone's talking about is all the stuff that's going on with AI. And it's one of the biggest things. And, a lot of the organizations that are out there ask me the question I get asked a lot is, how can we make use of that? Is that something that we should be looking at? And, it's a big conversation point. And we just also started to take advantage of some AI stuff inside of our organization that we've found to be extremely, extremely helpful. And one of those things is this software that we actually started making use of with regards to it's a software called Fathom. And I wanted to talk about you. I know, Alyn, you are also a big proponent of using it. And for us, it's really been a game changer. So we're just looking at it. And I remember about a year ago, we got introduced to it. We used a lot of stuff with regards to Zoom, and I know a lot of companies out there are using Zoom meetings ever since COVID. But we were using that pre-COVID. A lot of people use Teams, or they use different kind of scenarios. We actually use both. For us, we use internally we use Teams. Externally we use Zoom, just because for me personally, I just like the look and feel of it. Not a plug here for necessarily for Zoom, but at the end of the day, one of the add-ons that came on is this, like I said, this thing called Fathom. And I have to say, we were given this trial version very early on with regards to Fathom. And for us, really what it gave to me was a transcript of everything that was being said during a call. So I didn't really have to sit there and, and take notes, but I could be having this, this hour-long meeting. And the great thing is that I don't need to, sit there and take notes, but then I can look back and see what was said and so forth in regards to what transpired. And also I would have, if we were doing any sort of video presentations, or if we were doing any sort of, I don't know, sharing of information, it would do those screen captures, capture the video, capture all the conversations that were going on. But within the last, I would say, couple of months, like I said, it started off as a free tool. I guess it's kind of to really get people started with it, which was a great way to kind of get people introduced to the solution. And then they started introducing the more of the AI component. And what I mean by that is the AI component that they added in was this executive summary of what took place, the key takeaways, the action items, the follow-up points, all in a, probably in a few paragraphs, for lack of a better word, that summarized everything that took place in an hour-long meeting. And for me, that was just, so compelling, not only for myself, but for people inside of my organization, that I was able to kind of read something, that could have been an hour and a half meeting. I could kind of get a lay of the land within a 3-minute read as to what took place. And if I wanted to get more detail, all I can do is just click on it and it'll take me to the exact same point inside of there. So tell me a little bit about what your experience has been with Alyn with regards to working with those sort of AI tools like Fathom.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. It's sort of Fathom is one of these things that I was recommended, so I thought I'd give it a go. And the personal version, as you say, is free, and it's pretty good, and it gets better with time. I think the AI component is actually learning and getting better in understanding what I'm saying and what my colleagues are saying, and the ability to actually concentrate on the meeting and not hand scribe notes or type them as you go is phenomenal. I've always personally been a brilliant note taker. I've been known for it and taking reams of notes when going out to see clients and that sort of thing. Having Fathom is a revelation. So I can concentrate on what's being discussed, giving the right advice and listening to what they're saying too. But that synopsis at the end of really addressing what the main topics were, who said them when, what the actions are at the end is just fantastic in the way it works. And I love the fact that when the meeting closes, the person who organizes the meeting is then able to immediately email all of the Fathom notes and recommendations and actions directly to everyone who attended the meeting. That's just fantastic, because otherwise, when you are hand scribing, you are ending up typing notes in and, oh no, I want to move that from there to here and that sort of thing. And you definitely get to the point where it takes about 2 hours to write up an hour's worth of meeting notes, whereas Fathom just completely, it's brilliant. If anyone hasn't tried it, please do. It's free. You know, if you want the team version where you can share the one environment, as Corey says, that's really powerful. But the free version is still brilliant. You know,
Yeah.
it's really, really helpful.
Yeah, that AI, again, we integrated, we use Salesforce inside of our organization. And what we do is we end up even, you know, loading that into our Salesforce so that, we can actually see exactly what transpired, but also to be able to share that information with customers or with partners in terms of what transpired and where things are at is, to me, is just, invaluable. It's become something that we use on a regular basis to the point where I think even when I have phone calls, I kind of wish that I was in a Fathom call because I don't want to sit there and have to transcribe or anything because then it takes more time for me to then do that. So it really becomes a time saving technique for myself.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I concur with that entirely. It's saved me an enormous amount of time, and everyone on our senior leadership team going to use it in all our morning meetings before we start the day. It's phenomenal. We agree what we're going to do. We all get a snapshot of exactly what we said and exactly what we've agreed to do. We know what our actions are. That's phenomenally powerful.
Yeah, we're even
And
using it for we're even using it for internal meetings ourselves at the end of the day. And then this way, we actually have when you're using that Teams version, which is multiple people inside the organization, you can actually see and organize it by company, by partner or what have you, and you can actually see that list of calls that you've had, and it even gives you a little bit of analytics in terms of who's talking and what percentage of time. And so it really becomes an invaluable kind of tool to then be able to kind of follow up and say, oh, you know what? When was that said? Oh, actually, it was said, and here it is. By the way, was brought up in the meeting. So for me, it's kind of like I said, a game changer from that.
it's a great way of getting into AI if you haven't done it before as well, because it gives you a taster of what the art of the possible is.
Yeah.
With ChatGPT and all those sorts of things that are really taking off and being utilized more and more by individuals and businesses, it's a great way of getting into it if you haven't touched it before. And as I say, what have you got to lose? It's free of charge to try. You may as well try it. And from there, AI gets a little bit less scary because a lot of people I talk to, everyone's talking about AI, and a lot of people don't really know what it can do for them.
Uh-huh.
And this is just a real taster of just what it can do. And
Yes.
so from an perspective, I know from our partnership and from Cloud for Partners perspective, we're an AWS house. Top of the tree of developments for AWS this year is all around AI and how we
Yes.
can utilize it in sectors, certain industries, certain businesses. And it's all about working out which is going to be of use. Do you
Yes.
want to create AI bots? Do you want to create applications, those sorts of things using AI? Well, that's fine, but most people probably won't. They'll just want to use tool sets that will help them.